In the shadows of Bungoma, behind a cracked techno screen and bundles worth just 10 shillings, a silent war was being fought. Not in Parliament, not in the streets, but on X, formerly known as Twitter. Here, one young man dared to do the unthinkable. He didn't carry stones. He carried memes. He didn't shout in rallies. He edited photos. His target? The Commander-in-Chief of the Republic of Kenya. His weapon? Humor, satire, and raw audacity. But what happens when the joke crosses the line? When fiction feels too real for the state to ignore? This is the story of the ghost president of Bungoma, Titus Wekesa Sifuna, just 22 years old, a quiet young man from Bungoma, known by few, feared by none. No known political affiliation, no flashy lifestyle, just a laptop, a Twitter handle, and a mind sharp enough to make the head of state sweat. Using the name I Must Go and a handle called A Thief the Fifth, Titus built an online character so bold, so convincing, that it started to shake the political nerves of a country already on edge. He didn't post selfies, no profile picture, no phone number, no personal details, just chaos, wrapped in satire, flying through retweets. Day after day, post after post, he impersonated President William Ruto, editing images, mocking speeches, and even posting videos that portrayed the president in ways that were both hilarious and dangerous. And somehow it felt real. Too real. The streets loved it. The state hated it. And the DCI? They were already watching.
It all came crashing down on the 15th of April 2025. That was the day Titus Wekesa Sifuna poked the bear one too many times. On that day, two specific posts from his parody account, A Thief the Fifth, triggered the full force of the state. The first was an AI-generated image showing President William Ruto being stoned by an angry mob. Not a foreign crowd, but ordinary Kenyans. The second was even more explosive, a fabricated tweet claiming that President Ruto is on the verge of resigning amid intense public pressure. In the context of an already politically tense atmosphere, these posts crossed a line, from satire into perceived subversion. The Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, was no longer watching quietly. They acted. But not with handcuffs at first. They went fishing. And their bait, a fake account. Titus received a message straight to his parody account. It read like a secret handshake. "Hello, how are you? We really like what you're doing. We must send Kasongo home, and people like you are the ones we need. We've gone through your wall. We need this account. Let's meet tomorrow on the 16th. Titus, excited and flattered, replied, "Ah, wow. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. We need to sanitize this country. Where shall we meet?" The reply came soon after. "We'll text you tomorrow and give you the location." At first, Titus didn't suspect anything. The message felt authentic, like it was coming from someone within the resistance. Someone watching. Someone impressed. But that evening, something didn't sit right. He checked the profile of the account that messaged him, and what he saw turned his blood cold. No posts, no followers, no display photo, no history, just a blank ghost account. "This doesn't add up," he whispered to himself. His instincts kicked in. Something was wrong. Morning came, 16th of April. Titus still said he'd come, but he wasn't planning to shake any hands. He was planning to observe. At 9:01 a.m. sharp, he arrived at the agreed location, but kept himself out of view, tucked in a side alley, just far enough to see without being seen. Then it happened. A lone man walked slowly down the road. Behind him, a Subaru approached, crawling like a panther, its motion uneven and calculated. It passed the man once, slowed down, circulated again. No number plates, just silence and suspicion. Titus knew right then. This isn't a meeting. This is a setup. Without a sound, he slipped away, disappearing into Bungoma's back streets like smoke in the wind. After Titus slipped away, like a ghost on the morning of April 16th, the DCI made a silent admission. This is no ordinary suspect. This is someone we're not going to catch with texts or tricks. The cat and mouse game was over. It was time for the hawks to fly. It was time for tech to speak. The first step was simple, yet powerful. DCI's Cybercrime Investigations Unit issued an emergency digital request through cross-border cybercrime protocols, leveraging AfriPol channels to X, formerly Twitter. The request was urgent, flagged under potential threats to national security. They demanded metadata, specifically IP addresses used to log into the A Thief the Fifth account, login timestamps, device types, phone to laptop location patterns. "36 hours later, X responded. A trail of logins came through, most cloaked by VPNs, carefully hidden, but there was a slip. On April 2nd, for just 17 seconds, the account was accessed without a VPN. A local ISP in Bungoma was pinged. That tiny mistake exposed a crude location, enough to act. Within hours, DCI had deployed a small team to Bungoma. They didn't have access to military-grade surveillance tech. No fancy stingrays, no AI-powered facial recognition systems. But they did have a handful of tools that could make a difference. 1. Telco data. With cooperation from Safaricom and Airtel, DCI was able to track the nearest cell towers to the login location using GSM triangulation. This isn't new tech, but it's often used for major cases. The signal led them to a general area in Bungoma, a rough radius that still needed work. 2. Simple footage and public records. DCI used old-school methods. School records and passport photos of Titus, public databases and local sources. This was more manual, but it worked. Using whatever angles they had, they ran comparisons on the footage they could find. It gave them everything they needed. By April 14th, they had gathered enough evidence. Titus had posted at specific times, and his keystroke patterns matched the account's tweets. The malware confirmed it. The account had been accessed by Titus himself. He was still in town. April 19th, 5:12 a.m. The door burst open. No sirens, no shouting. DCI had won. Not by force, not with expensive tools, but by patience, knowledge of the local environment, and strategic use of the resources they had. Following his arrest, Titus Wekesa Sifuna was swiftly transferred from the shadows of Bungoma to the cold, unforgiving halls of Milimani law courts in Nairobi. The prosecution's case was clear. Titus had impersonated the President of Kenya, William Ruto, through his parody account and Thief the Fifth, under the alias I Must Go. The charges? Spreading misinformation of the highest order, falsely claiming that the president was on the verge of resignation. An account built on satire, yes, but one that strayed too far into dangerous territory. Tension was palpable as the judge gave his ruling, bond 1 million Kenya shillings, or in the alternative, cash bail of 100,000 Kenya shillings. The next court mention? Scheduled for April 30th, 2025, where the public would once again tune in, waiting to see how this complex case would unfold.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we bring our deep dive into the saga of Titus Wekesa Sifuna to a close. The case continues to raise questions that will shape the future of social media, political satire, and the fine line between free speech and responsible expression in Kenya. If you found value in today's video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to LifeLens TV for more investigative content. We'll continue bringing you stories that matter, and we look forward to diving into more stories just like this one. Stay tuned for the next episode.